Hey there, it's an odd world after all, listeners. I'm Dylan from Paranormal Thoughts Podcast. I'm here just to quickly let you know about my show because I believe you listening right now might also enjoy it. If you have an interest in hauntings, UFOs, cryptids, and conspiracy theories, I cover all of that and a lot more. One of our ongoing segments is Interview with an Abductee, where I interview everyday people who believe they've been abducted by aliens.
I got woken up because my room was super bright. There was a light through the ceiling. I was being picked up by it. You know, still disoriented, like still waking up. I somehow was in a chair in like a room, kind of like a hospital room. When I realized what was in front of me, I freaked out. There were these people who were short, but they weren't human. They had like gray skin and really large black eyes.
If any of this is something you might be interested in, then check out Paranormal Thoughts Podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
It's an Oddworld.
Hey oddballs, I'm your host Jensen, and welcome to episode 28. I think I'm going to come out with merch this year. I'm going to do it, and I'm definitely going to have to do something about, coffee, because once again, I am on a coffee high, and I apologize if I'm a little woohoo. So, anyhow, today, happy birthday to you January 11th babies. You know what that means? We are going to read your birthday. So, let's get into it.
Happy birthday!
Those born on January 11th are blessed with unusually sharp powers of perception, which, when combined with their keen intellects, result in a formidable talent for evaluation and decision-making. Little escapes these people, and when there is a problem to be solved, they typically display an impressive ability to marshal the facts available to them, impartially weigh upon the merits or disadvantages inherent in alternative approaches, and then come to an intelligent, closely argued strategy. This talent for objectivity, logical thought, and intellectual clarity makes January 11th people especially well suited to careers in academic research or else in business, areas in which these qualities, as well as their characteristics, refusal to allow their judgment to become clouded by emotional concerns, are greatly prized. Because these people possess such highly developed critical faculties and are furthermore articulate and quick-witted, they should be aware of pronouncing their opinions too forcefully and thereby offending those who may not share their point of view or sense of certainty. January 11th people are intensely loyal to those people and things that they consider merit their devotion. Though they may seem unapproachable at first, they have the potential to make excellent friends and parents. They should, however, be aware of a tendency towards stubbornness and becoming impatient with those who do not quickly fall into the line with their own way of thinking, especially as parents. By ensuring that they keep a check on their prosperity to judge others against their own exacting standards, and relaxing their inclination to maintain a certain structured formality in their relationships, they will benefit from a richer personal life. Their virtues are objective, efficient, astute. Their vices are arrogant, obstinate, and judgmental. So happy birthday again to you January 11th babies. And we are going to move on to stories.
This comes from Lacey B 122284 on Reddit.
About 6 months ago, I was driving home from a friend's place late at night. I was on SR 163 and just outside of Laughlin, Nevada. As I was twisting and turning through the mountains, my high beams suddenly caught the sight of a large, dark animal on all fours, crouched and apparently eating something. It had reflective green eyes that glowed in the headlights. As my car sped closer, the creature stood up on its back legs and started to haul ass away from the road around the backside of the hill it was just sitting on. It was huge, very agile, and fast. As I got closer, I could make out more details. It had a face like a dog, a long, profound muzzle, and was covered in dark brown or black fur. It darted to the backside of the hill and out of sight. I was dumbfounded. I tried to make sense of what I had just seen, ruling out logical explanations. It looked like a wolf, but was bipedal. It was covered in hair, like a bear, but again, no bear can run on its hind legs. It had sort of shape-shifted from its wolf-like animal form into a very large humanoid. Long legs with a huge stride. It never stumbled or tripped as it bolted through the rocky desert terrain. I was suddenly terrified and could not drive any faster away from this monster. It was a monster. I got home and relayed my story to my sister, still shaking and crying as I recalled as many details as I could. Fast forward 6 months, and I have not seen this creature again. I drive through the same mountains many times a month, and every time I pass through this stretch of road, my heart races, and I'm in full alert panic mode. I always have the sensation that I'm being watched or followed. I have tried to pinpoint exactly what I saw, and the best explanation seems to be the Native American equivalent to Voldemort, a skinwalker. I am not Native American. I am whiter than Wonder Bread, so I could be wrong, but nothing else seems to fit the bill. Since having this experience, I have been having a reoccurring nightmare. In my dream, which I have a few times a week, I am running barefoot through the woods and I am being chased by a wolf. The dream is so real. I can smell the trees, I feel the wind on my face, and the dirt and the leaves under my feet. Eventually, the wolf catches me by the ankle and I fall to the ground. I spin around to face the wolf, and it has me pinned on my back, and it's snarling and growling. Just before it begins to tear into my chest, I wake up, either crying or completely out of breath. Then, starting about 2 days ago, every so often, out of the corner of my eye, I see a large black animal creeping up on me. In addition to the visual image of the creeper, I keep smelling something rancid, like rotting meat. And I am the only one in the house that smells anything. I am truly scared now that I am experiencing this during the day. I do not know what to do, and I cannot sleep. I am scared to be alone, and from the scarce research I've been able to do, I believe I may be in trouble. I am deadly serious. These things are happening to me, and I am not a crazy person. A few nights a week, every week since this has started, my dogs now have started to randomly freak out for absolutely no reason at all. After the first day of seeing the shadowy creature lurking around my house, I decided to try to research more on the legends of skinwalkers. Unfortunately, there is not a ton of information available because the subject is taboo to natives, and most are very reluctant to talk about it. A few similar stories mentioned a cleansing ritual to rid myself of any dark energy I may have attached to me. So, I read up on exactly how to do something like that, and I came upon theories that smudging with sage may be the best way to accomplish a spiritual cleansing. I went to a local shop and bought a few stalks and attempted the ritual. At first, things seemed better. I didn't see anything for the rest of the day, and I was so relieved, and I thought it was over. But then I had the nightmare. I woke up petrified and quickly came to the realization that it had not worked. Soon after, the dog's behavior was changed. I think I might have inadvertently made it worse. I gave up on trying to solve the problem by myself. That's when I decided to post the story. I need help and I don't know who else to turn to. I haven't told anyone besides my sister because I am aware of how insane I sound. But I'm getting desperate. Why did it take 6 months for activity in my home to start up? Why has it continually gone on for over a year now? And who do I contact to make this all stop? I am woken up between 2 and 3 a.m. about 2 to 4 times a week because the dogs all start frantically barking and yelp at nothing. I am exhausted and becoming more terrified. I am actively seeking information that will lead me to anyone in the Native Nation, specifically Navajo, who has experience with this and is willing to help. I just don't know what else to do. I need some answers. Ugh, this one, okay, as most of them are, it's terrifying. It's just, I can't imagine having a creature in my dreams, basically step into my everyday reality. That is absolutely terrifying. And I don't personally know enough on SWs. I'm not going to say the name again because if you've listened to previous episodes, there's this girl that I follow. Her name is Piper CJ, and I'll link her down below, but she's very knowledgeable on folklore and things like that. But this poor person needs help, and if anybody has any ideas of how to help and rid this awful creature, that would be wonderful, because that's terrifying. That is so freaking terrifying. But we're going to move on to story number 2.
This comes from Honest-Wolverine-541 on Reddit.
One night, I was driving home from bartending at 3 a.m. It was mostly a rural drive through a forest-lined, 2-lane state route. No streetlights and almost no other cars. As I came to a hill crest, I saw what looked like a man standing at the bottom of the side of the road. I couldn't make out any features or clothing, but could see a dark mass moving. I immediately got chills and felt uneasy. When I got to the bottom of the hill, he started to walk out into the road. I remember thinking, this man's trying to off himself, and I started flashing my brights. As I pulled into the other lane to avoid him, he completely disappeared. I called 911 thinking that someone could need help, but when I followed up, no one was found in that area. This all happened in a matter of seconds. But I know I saw a dark figure step out. I get chills to this day thinking about it. I will say it until I maybe ever stop this podcast. I don't know, but those short ones are good ones. I mean, it doesn't matter how long or short the story is. I'm here for it, but even when they're super short, they're super creepy. This one in particular, I have this idea where I just want to ask the police department if they get calls like this often where somebody is stepping out into the road, because if that's the case, then it kind of makes me wonder, like, what kind of spirit is haunting this place. And maybe it's just kind of like a residual haunting. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe somebody died there and they're just, like I said, it's a residual haunting, so they're just reliving that moment every, I don't know. There are tons of theories you could put behind this, but as always, I want to know your ideas. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode. And well, it's an odd world after all.
Oddballs, go follow us on It's an Odd World After All podcast on Instagram and Facebook. Also, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. If you have a story you would like to share, email us at it'sanoddworldafterall@gmail.com or message us on one of our social platforms. Don't forget to share us with your family and friends. And check out our website, it'sanoddworldafterall.com.